Hello there, and welcome back to Gaulia. So, after the last episode and getting our creeper farm up and running, I really want to start moving forward and getting some of our farms up and running that are gonna help us out. And the one thing for this skyscraper that I have here is I need a lot of light gray concrete, and I don't have a whole lot of light gray dye. So, after painstakingly realizing that my light gray concrete farm or my dye farm won't grow me the flowers I need over there, I'm going to pivot and I'm going to put one right here. Yeah, so that's the goal. That's what we want to build. You might have seen the inside of it in last week's lore section. I did use the creative world version of it in my thumbnail last week. And if you see my pickaxes looking like trash, I was tearing down the trial chamber, gathering tuff, and I now have basically 3 full shulkers and a full double chest of tuff related materials, and then a bunch of copper related stuff as well. So I do have a tuff building plan, but the problem is I need a lot of polished and regular tuff for it, and the trial chambers have an abundance of brick. So let's see. I'm going to try to load up another schematic. I don't know if I can do this, and I have the other one placed already. I don't really want to, but yes, I can. Perfect. So what I've been doing with my creative world is it's kind of a mirror copy of this world. So I have... Actually, let me turn off shaders for placing this. And this is just a kind of a tip for people who maybe never used this mod like myself. This what is this mod called? Lightmatica. If you're like me and have never really used this, I've found it difficult to sometimes get my builds where I want them. So this is why I now took a little portion of this build into the blueprint after I built it, so I can line it up, and it tells me, hey, you're in the right spot. Maybe other people have a better strategy for figuring that out, but for me that was super helpful. But the short of it is, if you can see, I'm cutting right into this mountain, and I have a plan for that long term, but for now, we're just going to cut it straight flat, and later on we'll make it look nice. Yeah, so I'm going to work on terraforming this, and right after the intro.
Life can be hectic living in the city, and life can also be hard living in the country. You have enough things to worry about. Power shouldn't be one of them. Redstone Energy Dynamics is now bringing you power at half the cost of coal. Redstone is your one-stop shop for power. It powers your cars, trucks, cranes, and generators. For the last 5 years, Redstone has powered all of your essentials. Now, it can power your home. Redstone Energy Dynamics is proud to introduce our new power plant, powering all of Gaulia. A completely clean and safe alternative to that dirty coal. Redstone is the future of power. Unlimited power. Soon, Redstone will be in every home, powering every home. Redstone is also completely safe to mine and completely safe as a power source. Don't believe what you hear. People just don't want you to enjoy the benefits of cheap, unlimited power. If you don't believe me, take it from a celebrity. Yo, it's your boy MC Emerald and my trusty llamas, the Dirty Duo. I'm here to tell you that redstone is the best thing that ever happened. I switched my mansion over to redstone power and I've never been happier. I can play all the loudest beats and have the brightest lights. Come on, check me out in my next concert at the Redstone Convention Center in downtown Gaulia. Redstone Energy. Safe, secure, vital.
So for anybody who's wondering, I have been ranking through iron. This is how I repair my equipment at this point, is iron, pretty much. I take it over to my villagers, I trade to the armorers, and trade the subsequent emeralds for things like glass or terracotta and things that I'm, not looking forward at farming that I know I'll need in large quantities at some point. And from there, I have basically repaired all my items every single time I need it. It definitely is one iron farm for a single player world is everything you're ever going to need. I mean, I guess maybe some people are going to have super villager trading farms and want to make thousands of things per hour. I don't know, but if you're like me, and go. All right, I'm going to go clear my inventory and then clear this out. Probably just do this in a little old time lapse right about now. Well, there you have it, folks. One very ugly plot. Again, it's not going to stay like this, but I'm pushing the mountain back for builds on this side, and then we'll just gently or steeply slope it off. So it'll still have some kind of a mountain feel, but it's going to have a much more aggressive slope on it over here. But all this and this is probably going to get stuff back. This rain's a real bummer. So you can see what the damage this did to my tools, though. Gonna need to spend a little bit of time at our village. This village definitely needs some love at some point. There's just so many projects I want to work on, Only such little time. Also, my process for dealing with villagers is painful to even myself. It's like chess monsters, right? Like, at some point I'm gonna have to focus on fixing this all up, but man, it's not the greatest system right now.
Alright, well now we seem to have everything gathered, all our stuff is repaired, and we're ready to start building. So I thought before I do the time lapse, I'll take you into my creative super flat world, and we'll kind of talk about my building a little bit. So this is my kind of super flat creative world where I have all the ideas I'm working on for different builds, and also builds from like other worlds. It's not necessarily a series. I don't think I'm going to put this castle into this series anyway, but it has a lot of stuff that I work on from time to time. And this is our dye factory. And one of the things I wanted to bring in here to kind of highlight was that sometimes things don't work out the way you want when you test them. So what I mean by this is I built this dye factory for a very specific location in our world. And I put it all together in here. I watched, a video on how to do it. And I tested it. And, oops, other side. And it worked perfect. Nothing fancy. I got to collect everything myself. And lo and behold, I collect everything, and well, I'm
not in survival, but there's white flowers in here, right? These little guys that I just picked up, they make the light gray dye that I need. So it seems to make a decent amount of them. You can see them popping up. Makes a decent amount of them. Also gives you a bunch of other kinds of dye. But yeah, all is well, right? All was good until I went into the creative version of the world where I planned to build this. Um, and I had planned to build it right here. I actually had put it here, and I since deleted it because I need to find something else here. And the problem was I didn't account for what kind of biome this is. So this one will not grow any white flowers. So that was kind of my problem, right? I needed a certain kind of dye. It would only grow in a different biome. I knew it was growing over here, which is why we ended up cutting out a chunk of this mountain and putting it here. So it's just, I think, something to highlight, when you're going through your build process and, you come up with the perfect idea and then the implementation necessarily isn't what you were hoping for. You just have to be willing to pivot sometimes. I do want to put some kind of a build here. I kind of had pictured that this was going to be more of the Redstone Energy Dynamics, like business park around their power plant. But hey, we had to put it there. It is what it is. What am I going to put here? I don't know. I do need a moss farm, um, or a moss factory, I guess, uh, for some bone meal generation, and obviously if I want moss as well. So I might do something like that here. But we'll save that. That's a future episode, Marevik's problem. So I'm going to get back to the other world and give you a time lapse in the meantime of building that we're building. So this building here was inspired by SimCity 2000. I'll put the building on screen now. That was the inspiration for it. I wasn't looking to replicate it exactly, but I definitely played SimCity 2000, City Skylines, and other city building games throughout my life. I really enjoy those types of games, and I thought they'd be a good place to draw some inspiration from for builds. Whereas this power plant was generally my creation, I did use a little bit of concept art to, I looked at a whole bunch of concept art when building it. Same thing with the factory over there. I, didn't have the thought process to design something entirely on my own, so I kind of took this from SimCity 2000. But as you'll see now, we do have a working dye farm, and it is generating the white flowers that we need. So just keeping it on for a little bit. I got around 40 of them. It generates a ton of the yellow, and a ton of seeds as well. But as of now, I'm storing all my non-essential stuff in here. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it later. I am basically a hoarder. I have a hard time getting rid of things. Basically, my thought process now is take a look at what I need for this build and start working on it. These are all the major blocks we're going to need. The tough is going to be the annoying one. 2.5 shulker boxes of polished tough. I'm going to need a lot of tough. Alright, I got 3 shulker boxes. We're not stopping until we have 2.5 stacks. And let's go. Well, that wasn't smart. I've done that before. Let's find some tough. Little jerk. Some gravel while we're in here, since we're gonna need it for concrete anyway. Oh, what a beautiful thing. That checks one box. We also need a full shulker box of light gray concrete. It's gonna suck. Alright, so next on our list is going to be concrete. So for this, we're going to need roughly 2 shulker boxes of various concretes. I don't know where orange concrete's coming from, but yeah, so 2 shulker boxes of various concrete, which means basically a shulker of sand and a shulker of gravel, I believe. So I don't think we have that much of either. Yeah. So gravel. Ooh, we do have a decent amount of gravel. I think we might have enough gravel. Let's just double check. Yeah. So we should have enough gravel, so we're just going to need sand. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and activated... I've really just been not using it, but a map mod. The Zero's map. So a lot of what I wanted this for is to plan our city. You know, I want that overhead view. It's really, it's actually really cool. If you've never played with this, I mean, just seeing your builds here in this top-down, very like original SimCity kind of view style. I think it's super cool. Definitely something that will be good once we get into like this area here, planning out and doing massive terraforming for the whole city. But yeah, so I've been avoiding using it because I didn't really want to be cheating, if you will, early on. But now that we're pretty much end game, I mean, we got elytras, beacons, you know, all that type of stuff. It's just going to be a good way to, like, a mansion, to waypoint various things like resource deposits, things like that that we might need throughout the world. But the main point of it is for city planning purposes. Oops, forgot a shulker. Should I have some in my ender chest? And luckily I don't need to set beacons up every time for sand, because it's insta-mine either way. Something about doing this insta-mine, you know, sand, tough, stone, these types of things is weirdly satisfying. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. Although with the amount of people that play this game, there's got to be a bunch of people who find stuff like this oddly satisfying. 1 full shulker of sand coming up. Now the question is, how much gray dye or light gray dye do I actually need? So what do you say? 1 full shulker plus a little bit. So 1 full shulker plus a stack, say, of light gray concrete. Alright, 3 more stacks of that. Oh no. And what was next? Red, maybe? Regular gray. Ooh. 10 stacks of that. Time to kill some squid, I guess. We need a wither farm for black dye. I'll tell you what. I am not good enough at this game to know. Oh. What are you? I forgot there was one of those things nearby. I want a squid. No. You guys have probably cleared out all the squid. Yeah, I should get some allays and just put them in here collecting dye, because these guys probably kill squid anytime they spawn. That would be the smart way to do this, probably. Oh, squid. Jackpot. Can't hide. What do we say? 10 stacks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Maybe just one more. Yeah, we'll do 10 stacks of red for good measure. I really want to know. I don't ever remember placing orange concrete. And 2 pieces of it. Very random. White, we're gonna need bone meal for, I guess. I'm gonna put all my bone meal into the flour generator. Red wool. Ooh, how much wool do we need? 10 stacks. Oh yeah, we got plenty of red wool. Red. I'll do that a bunch more times and I'll you have 1 full stack. I need a sheep farm. Might as well do some tool repair while we're here. Right, so we will let the red wool, let those sheep grow some wool while we're doing other things. Come back to that periodically. The red wool section, if I'm not mistaken, is all the way on the top of the tower, so it's not like we're going to be getting there anytime soon. I will go into the nether, though, and we'll work on some of this black stone that we're going to need, so I'm going to try to get a full shulker of blackstone down there, which is going to take a while because I don't believe that's insta-mine. Pigman. We found some ancient debris. Not going to need it, but, you know, probably lose all our equipment at some point in time. Good to have backups. So I have this super high tech. You guys are going to be really impressed with this. Concrete crafting method. You might be able to use this in your world, but it's really for experts only. So I'm going to take you through the process. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get you through it. It's actually, you know, get all your concrete powder in your inventory, you know, the same thing you would normally do. And then I'll show you guys how to build this thing. I'm not even going to go into the blocks you need to build it. It's just too many. You know, I'll put a materials list up. But essentially, you start by breaking this stone here, and you have a tunnel. And then you have this water stream coming down. And then for the crazy part, you place your concrete and use your pickaxe. And then you keep doing that. Yeah. Super high tech. So I've been working hard on my materials, and so far this is, all materials for the build. Most of these are full. Some of them have a couple empty spaces in them. And I realized that we need to do the worst possible farm that we could possibly have to do. So far, nether wart, because I need red nether bricks, has been a pain in the butt just because you have to wait for it to grow. And then I realized that I need a bunch of mangroves. Mostly strip mangrove logs, but also some fences, some stairs, some planks. Not a lot, but oh, those go in flower pots. But literally the worst wood to farm in the game. So I guess we'll get to work on that. All right, it's time to get building. This is most of everything I need except for some of the detailing blocks for the interior. Uh, but I think this should be what we need. I'm gonna get rid of some of these torches for now. Let's do this. And welcome back after the time lapse. Here we have it coming into view for the first time. Oh. Yeah, so this thing is basically done on the exterior. I still have a little bit of interior stuff to do. There's a few rooms I want to make and things like that, and a bubble column elevator. The goal is to get from the bottom to the top and then back down without having to use an elytra. I mean, we're probably almost always going to use the elytra, but I just want the ability for no reason whatsoever. So this is probably the largest single build I've ever done. I'm not sure, but the flashback time-lapse footage is over 8 hours long. So 8 hours of actual gameplay time. And that's just to build it. That doesn't include the material farming, which was done over the course of several days, and I have no way of judging how many gameplay hours it took. So I'll take you inside just to show you a little bit of what we got going on. So I did put torches everywhere for now because it was an absolute mob farm. But our creeper farm obviously churning away while we're building. And then down here is going to be like your lobby area. my plan is to probably... This is the channel where the creepers are going, so I figure if I break a block or two in each of these, then I can hopefully name tag some of the creepers, and then have like I don't know, specimens, if you will, down here, because this is our Redstone Energy Dynamics headquarters. Oh, this isn't built, but this is going to be like the table. You'll have seen this in the lore section from the creative world, but this is going to be the table where they're talking. Little experiment areas, science stations, things like that. Up here, which I don't actually have a staircase to it because it's not going to have any function. It's just going to be for background decoration. It's just going to be like desks and things. And then our CEO's desk is right here overlooking the whole contraption. I don't know what this contraption is, but it's the center of this whole operation. And then we can go, maybe, there we go, up into the actual structure. And I have nothing to put in here. This is going to stay empty. And maybe if I think of a farm or something that I want to put in here, you know, it's a ton of space. I mean, look at that. Just an absolute ton of space. And then up here is our spawning platform. I don't necessarily need to keep this like this. I just haven't got rid of it yet. And I might texture this floor because we will actually be up here. I mean, it'll be an AFK platform, but you know, I might do a little decoration up here at some point. But yeah, this is mostly done. I'm going to do the interior on the first two levels because it is part of the lore in those areas. So although I filmed it in the creative world originally, my goal is to have most stuff filmable in the survival world. I just get ahead of myself in the creative world sometimes. And with everything I have, this is still kind of my base of operations. So yeah, so from this angle, I mean, if I got rid of those mangrove trees, you kind of come in, you got the train, the power plant, this thing going on. You know, we're going to have another building here. Starting to look like you know, the beginnings of a city. But you got to imagine, like, at some point, the goal is that this road snakes up this hill, comes here, and then becomes basically a straight road through here. And then it will be like, you know, the main thoroughfare between the industrial district and our proper city. And then you're just going to have buildings all down here. And this thing is just going to be overlooking everything. You'll see how long the series goes, but my plan is over time, you know, this will all be filled out. And then I'll probably terraform and get rid of those caverns there and push the city out that way as well. So you'll end up having like one main drag coming down, all the industry stuff down over there, and I think it'll be a real cool city. I'm excited. Well, I think this is a great place to wrap it up. We have done a lot this episode. 2 builds, one of them is huge, a ton of farming, and our Redstone Energy Dynamics commercial. I'm definitely happy with where this world is going, and I think next episode we should take a moment to kind of plan out some of the things that we want to do next. You know, I have a lot of projects that I want to work on, so time to come up with a plan. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in episode 11.